You're listening to Hey Pal, What's New with John, Alex, and Greg. Hey Pal, What's New is a product of Sack of Sin Entertainment. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and all other social media platforms. Hey Pal, What's New can be found on Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and all other podcast locations. Or check us out at sackofsin.com or heypalwhatsnew.com. Warning, Hey Pal, What's New contains explicit content. John, Alex, and Greg are a pair of vulgar Gen Xers. If you are easily offended, please stop listening and go download a nice tame podcast like the Goop Podcast. You have been warned.
How about a little bit for the bushy? I'm playing with my nipple clamp. Hey, everybody, guess what? We're back and it's Hey Pal, What's New? I'm Greg, and that's John Alex over there. And why does Bluey look like he's sitting in a litter box?
I'll tell you later what that is.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah, don't disclose that. But yeah, man, we're back after a week off. You know, we'll get into that in the What's New
You
portion.
and your compromised immune system.
It's not even that. It's just, everything is not about me.
It's not. Why can't you learn that?
I learned that as soon as I had my first daughter. My cousin Nicole called me up and I said, hey, guess what? We're having a baby. She's like, oh, that's awesome. It's never going to be about you ever again. I'm like,
I learned that after I had my first blowjob. It's not about me. Never is.
What? We're married now. We don't do that anymore. What?
Sorry, I had to readjust in my seat because I'm fat.
They trap you like that. They trap you. But yeah, we're back after... we can get into the old, hey, pal, what's new there? First of all, I always like to start off with, what's new with you there, Slick Rick?
It's been 2 weeks and I have no fucking clue.
Really?
It's just been crazy busy.
Yeah.
I mean, just with work and then Kate with work and then coming home and getting all this shit done. And, she's upstairs now. She's fucking exhausted. She took Mila to I had back to school night last night, so I had to do that.
Back to school.
And it's always fun because, people come in. It's like, hey, I haven't seen you since high school. And I was like, hey, I thought I'd never fucking see you again.
Please, tell me about the concert.
So while that was going on, Kate took Mila and her friends down to the Boy Genius concert. Kate did not go to the show. While they were at the show, she went to IKEA in New Haven. But you know who did go to the show?
Who did go to the show?
Shagger Dave.
Oh, yeah, I did see that on there.
I was like, Shag's at the Boy Genius show?
Oh.
Without his daughter?
Did he actually? Did he go?
I don't know if he went with his daughter or without her.
Maybe he went with his girlfriend or something.
True.
I mean,
But Kate did that, so she didn't get, I got home from back to school night at 10:30, and you're all fucking wound up. You can't go to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to try and go to sleep. But I'm like, I know when Kate gets home, the dogs go fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys hear it sometimes in the podcast. You hear them running around upstairs.
Bumpuses, yes.
And I was going to come by yesterday because I was like, I got out of work at 2, and back to school night, I had to be back there by 6:30.
Yeah.
And I was like, but what am I going to do? Sit behind him on the couch while he's on the doing work? And I'm like, hi.
That's fine. You can do that if the door's always open, But so after that, the reason... last week we did our Sunday, then we posted it on Thursday, which, by the way, everyone, thank you for being patient with us. We're just trying to figure everything out. So then, of course, it came to next Friday, and it was homecoming for my daughter in New Fairfield and the marching band and all that stuff. Now, I didn't get to go because the Splits were playing a gig for the alumni. Basically, what they did was... instead of just doing class of 89, class of, like a 10-year or 20-year reunion or something like that, anybody who graduated from New Fairfield High School, they all came. So it didn't matter if you were 1996, 1989, blah, 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 blah.
1917.
I graduated. Well, so we had to play this gig, and they were doing it at this local bar. We had to play outside.
Ugh.
We got there. I had to get there at 8 p.m. So I was like, oh, man, I don't get to see, Zoe. She's like, oh, it's okay. You saw my last one. So I'm like, all right. So we get there, and we're all set up on this field. Now, we're all the way at the end of the field.
Okay.
Because They sold like 600 tickets.
Wow.
So we're like, damn, it's going to be freaking packed. And, we better move all the way to the back because everybody's going to. Thing is, though, like, it was cold.
Yeah.
So they had a fire going and all that stuff. That beautiful back. It's called the 440 line, which is in New Fairfield. It was like a really nice back area. We didn't go on till like 9:30 because they were like, oh, we're waiting for the game to be over. I was like, that would have been nice. I would have went to the freaking game and saw my kid at halftime and just been like, and out. But, so I was like, all right. So I waited there till 9:30. We played from like 9:30 to 1 in the morning.
Ew.
And everybody was
drunk.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were walking through, and there was one guy that was sitting at the bar, and he goes, I graduated in 1989, and I've been here since 2 p.m. We're like, oh, boy. And this was 8. Shit. So you get there.
Boys gaming hard.
Yeah, so there were a lot of people there, but they were so far away because they're like, I'm not going near the band. I'm going near where the bonfire is and indoors because it's warm. Outside, not only was it cold, it was just, we played for like 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, like 4 hours. And when did everybody come out? Like 12:30. And they're like, no, can you play the Rolling Stones? They're all hammered. And I'm like,
can you go
where were you fucking 2 hours ago? Yeah. So we finished at 1. Then we had to pack all of our stuff, which you've seen all the stuff that we have.
Seriously.
And the only way the way that they had it was you could either go walk like 100 miles and go through the bar and everything to go out, which is ridiculous, or you can go around their fence. But the fence that they had was like you had to go around, and it was next to these 2 dumpsters. It was pitch black. It was muddy. It was cold. I never usually have back problems. I couldn't walk. Oh. Like near the end, I was just like, they were like, you got to pick this thing up. I was like, I can't bend. Like, I just can't. Because you're on this ground that's like.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, I know. My head, like, and then the next day, it was like immediate chest cold. Because I was just, I didn't go to bed.
Sure it wasn't the C19?
I tested myself. I tested. Yeah, and I got home at 3. And just the next day, I was just, and then of course my kids were over that weekend, and not like they need to be constantly entertained, but like, I was just a mess.
Oh yeah, I hate not being able to sleep.
But yeah, it's been a crazy couple of weeks, but we're back with so much goodness. We got news, we got trailers, we got TV, we got
lots of
movies.
Stuff.
Greg actually watched the same movie that John Alex did. And
no, I didn't watch that movie.
You didn't?
You're talking about the one on Hulu?
Yeah.
Never got to watch it.
Wow. Okay, well, I could break it down for you. Not that there's not much to break down, but...
You can't tell me the dialogue, though.
No.
Because there is none.
Oh, we'll get into that, dude. And then there's a ton of music that's out. So we got a lot of stuff to do. So what do you want to start off there? You want the... that?
We always start with the news.
That's true. John, you got any news?
Now, I had heard on the news that Netflix mailed out their last DVD today, but you hit me off with, like, the deep, like... fun fact knowledge here. I feel like you should give this one out.
Yeah, I heard on the entertainment news that how about a little something for the Bushy? Old Billy Bush. How is he still freaking working in that?
Fucking no idea.
How about a little bit for the Bushy? That's my favorite clip when he was with Trump.
They mailed out the last DVD.
The last DVD. Believe it or not, kids, there was a substantial amount of people on Netflix that were still doing the DVD mail.
Yes, everyone's grandma.
Yeah, But still, like, I was pretty impressed that it was down to 100,000 people that were still getting the DVD. So they announced that Netflix sent out the last DVD, and I got a little fun fact for your knapsack. It's ours. The first DVD that they sent out ever from Netflix was Beetlejuice.
Okay.
The last one that they sent out, True Grit. So it kind of tells you the demographic there.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it was...
And it was the same person.
Yeah, exactly. But the other cool thing that I heard was if you're still on the
DVD plan,
mail, the Netflix mail, whatever, they said, all right, well, what we're going to do is we're just going to mail the next 10 DVDs in your queue, and when you get them, just keep them.
Just keep them.
That's where it's come down to.
You want to know something? Somewhere around here, I have that binder of DVDs.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a couple of movies in there that I got, and I was like, I really like this movie. No, Netflix, it never showed up. And they're like, oh, we'll send you another copy.
Oh, yeah.
Or I mailed that back. You just had to check a box, like, I mailed it back.
Yeah, it was just stupid. But, I mean, it was pretty cool at the time. But I'm pretty sure I have at least one or two Netflix DVDs.
Oh, I think everybody does.
Yeah, I think mine was the Polar Express.
I wonder how many Tolly's got.
Totally.
How many Netflix DVDs you steal? Inquiring minds want to know. Here's a fun fact that not a fun fact knapsack. Justin sent me this, but I already knew it. Apparently, they arrested someone in connection with the murder of Tupac.
Ooh!
And I gotta say, fucking Fox News never fails to deliver. I'm listening to them try and say this obviously, like, she's obviously trying to say his name, and she's like, Dwayne Keffy D. Davis. And I'm like, Keffy? And then somewhere else I see it and I go, oh, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis. It's like his street name is Keefe D. So it's in quotes. But, I mean, there's a guy who back in 2018 had told BET, yeah, I know who killed Tupac. I was in the car. Like, why? How is he out on the streets if he's like, I know who killed him? I was there.
And at this point, like, does anybody, like, it's just one
Dude's
of those
not going to
things.
last long in jail, though.
No.
Oh, that's the guy who fucking killed Tupac.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
introduce my buddy Jeffrey Epstein.
You better keep your head up. Keep your head up. Ooh, child.
Speaking of dead people, Michael, what is it, Gambon?
Gambon.
The second Dumbledore, after Richard Harris had passed away, has now passed away at 82.
2 Dumbledores.
Yeah, how many Dumbledores does it take to screw in a light bulb?
I don't know.
None, they're dead. Like Aquaman's baby.
My baby.
He's dead.
Don't get us started with
No
that.
light bulbs.
I do
He's dead. He's dead. Get over it.
Deadbolt dead. Bush. We use candles anyway in the Hogwarts.
That's right. Candles everywhere. Speaking
Expecto Patronum. What?
Speaking of dead,
Can I help you, sir? Yes, what is this? Huh? This is whack! I can't get jiggy with this shit!
I thought you were dead.
apparently Dianne Feinstein actually is dead at 90.
Really?
Senator Dianne Feinstein, the one who they had to tell her, like, put her crayon and a rubber band in her hand and just go mark yes on the card. I actually thought she was really dead. I thought we were dealing with a real life, like, Weekend at Bernie's here.
I thought she was stuffed.
And someone was like, they're going to catch on, man. We got to do something. Let's just see. Yes, we are sad to announce that Dianne Feinstein has passed away peacefully at 90 years old in her sleep 5 months ago. They've just been pushing her around. We need this bill to pass. Just keep a crayon in Diane's hand. She's starting to stink, sir. Just say she's got gas. Old people smell.
They all smell like mothballs. Who cares?
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we were just talking before about how the politicians now are just ancient. Between freaking Sleepy Joe
and then
freaking Mitch McConnell. Just fucking strokes out in the middle of the thing.
He's like a glitching NPC. It's like when you're walking in Red Dead Redemption and that guy's stuck on the fence.
He's got to do this shit.
You get near him in the right spot and he can't walk away, but he can't get away.
How many people were watching the news and they were just smacking their Xbox controller like, what the hell's wrong? I can't go left.
They're waiting for the pixels. In one last little piece of news, the movie Maxine.
Yes.
Which is the third installment in Ty West's X trilogy starring Mia Goth.
Can't wait.
Apparently it's going to be set in the 80s, which I can't wait for.
Sure.
And it's going to be like a murder mystery whodunit slasher.
Oh, it's going to be like a slasher Boogie Nights.
Honestly,
you got to touch.
Two last quick pieces of news. WGA strike is over.
Yeehaw!
So that is good, and hopefully SAG's not far behind. I do know they sent us an email saying, don't listen to all the rumors. Here's the facts. We have a meeting with the AMPTP on Monday to negotiate, and the studio heads are going to be there. So big studio heads. And last piece of news, I love this, and I can't wait till this is available. I know that they have Spotify has transcript service. Mm-hmm. Like if you're listening to a podcast, they kind of do like an on-the-fly transcript so you can read it while you're listening to it. Okay. But they are also going to start instituting a translation service. So there's a couple of popular podcasts they're going to automatically do it with to start. But, like, you can take, like, the Hey Pal, What's New podcast, and they'll use AI to translate it to another language and then have it spoken in our voices.
Oh, wow.
They will mimic your voices and have it in your voices. And I'm telling you right now, I cannot wait to hear German, Greg.
Ich bin Ausländer und spreche nicht gut Deutsch.
Oh, the chicken.
I forgot to say this in my What's New. I had to go...
So, pal, what's new with you?
I had to get up early this morning because my daughter Violet, her cat, had to go to the vet.
Okay.
So everybody left the house at like 6:30, and my ex goes, could you take Pluto and put her in the cage and take her to the vet? You could drop her off at like 8:30. And I'm like, all right, yeah, it shouldn't be that hard, right? It's a kitten. Yeah, look at my hand. I am friggin' it took an hour and over an hour, and I'm in my daughter's room. This cat was like, it was like feral.
Oh, God.
I'm trying to chase things, cut the hell out of my hand. Then finally, and of course my phone's going off because my ex and Violet are like, did you get the cat in the cage? I'm like, no, this fucking cat is ridiculous. It's like, I've never heard a cat screech like this.
Oh, boy.
And swat and like, sound like a dog, like a rabid dog. So finally...
Fucking buried in Pet Cemetery.
Seriously, man, sometimes dead is better. Fucking, you almost got a size 10.5 right up its ass. Anyway, I was like, I can't get her in this freaking cage, right? This like soft freaking, and both of them were like, oh, just pick her up by her neck and just, like the scruff. Just pick her up by the scruff and she'll go right in. I'm like, this cat fucking hates me. He's like, where were you? But,
man.
The scruff.
Sorry.
So anyway, I finally get. So I said, "Fuck this" with the thing. I find those, like, those laundry baskets, like the soft one, like they're square, they're plastic, but they're kind of bendable. I find two of them in her room. I throw it on top of her. And she's freaking out. She's like,
did she start pissing everywhere too? Because they'll do that sometimes.
No. Luckily, she didn't do that. So then I took it, and then I took the other one and slid it under. And I'll show you a picture of it. I still have it on my phone.
Did you get it in the carrier though?
No. And
tell me you brought it to the vet. Did you bring it to the vet like that? You're like, here.
Well, I finally call them back, and I go, well, I finally captured her after an hour plus. And they're like, they're not going to take her in that thing. So, like, oh, we'll just reschedule.
Fucking motherfuckers.
I was like, yeah, let me start my day now. So anyway, back to the show. I forgot I had to tell that story.
Let's go trailers.
Yeah.
Now, hold on there 1 second here, young fella. I was thinking about maybe the two of us get down in the old pickup truck corner and hit one of them movie plexes where we can go sit down and eat a chunk of popcorn and check out some preview.
See, this is why you have to watch the live video version of it, because in the audio version, you're not seeing the stupidity that we're doing while we're waiting for the theme song. But
so number one trailer, what do you got first?
Well,
'cause I only have one that I'm really interested in.
Just today, they released the new Toxic Avenger trailer with old Peter Dinklage. It was a short clip. It looked like we watched it before. It looks very like 80s trauma in the beginning, and you're like, oh, wow, are they really going to shoot it? Kind of like Winning
exactly
Time.
what I said to you.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, just wait. And then they go back to like the regular one. But, I mean, from what they showed, I've seen some other photos of it too. They haven't shown Dinklage's toxic yet.
Right.
They show that he's got the glowing mop, and he cuts that guy's head, like his face right off.
Hits him with the mop, and it melts his chin right off.
But who else is in it? There's a couple of, Kevin Bacon's in it. I think Elijah Wood, they showed a picture of him in it. Oh, boy. He's got some weird freaking prosthetics on and stuff. It's a guilty pleasure, the trauma movies. You know what you're going.
You know what you're getting when you go into that.
Yeah, so, I was a little apprehensive about it because I was like, how far are they going to go? And it was like, well, it's going to look too slick, kind of like the Thanksgiving trailer I saw, where I was like, why are you shooting it all modern? But I'll give it a chance. I mean, it still looks like a bloody good time.
Bloody good time.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I saw that trailer for Argyle. They're pumping this movie up. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, it came out of nowhere from what I could tell.
Yeah.
There was like a teaser trailer, and they're like, trailer tomorrow. And then I watch it, and they did pretty good at making you think in that teaser trailer that it's like a spy movie. It's the people who made Kingsman.
Yeah.
And to a degree, it is a spy movie, but the whole thing you see in that teaser trailer is a book. It's Bryce Dallas Howard is a spy writer. She writes spy novels, and one of her books is what she's been writing is too close to stuff that's really happening. So now all these like agents all over the world and spies are trying to kill her.
No, you got
it's a definite Romancing the Stone vibe.
Yeah, I really dug it. Like, I saw the trailer that you had posted, and I was like, I haven't got to watch it yet. And I was actually going to send it to Manal because the cat in it looked just like Mimi.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it looked like Mimi. But then we watched it, and I was like, okay, you got Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
You got my man Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell. You can't go wrong with Sam Rockwell.
Which he better fucking dance. He dances in every movie. If you get a chance, go on to YouTube and just type in Sam Rockwell dancing machine.
Okay.
They took all the movies that he's been in that he dances in.
Which is every movie.
Every single fucking movie. You're like, oh my God, how much does he dance?
It's like Jeffrey Bean dying.
Yeah.
He dies in everything he's in. Poor Jeffrey Bean.
I know. But yeah, I was intrigued. I mean, I love the cast.
Yeah.
You know, the Kingsman movies I was kind of like about. They were okay.
The thing that makes the Kingsman movies so good is that fight style that they have.
Yeah. And then Matthew Vaughn, I mean, he did Kingsman. Didn't he also do Kick-Ass too?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, you can't go wrong with that. So I'm excited. I haven't really. I was like, oh, you know, I guess I'll check it out eventually. And then we watched the trailer together. I was like, oh my God, this looks awesome. Other than that,
there was one more trailer that you watched.
Yes, another Nicolas Cage jam that's coming out called Dream Scenario. Okay. It's an A24 jam.
Right.
It's got Nick Cage in it, which Morty asked for. Basically, I think the premise is that. For some reason, everybody who falls, like, they have dreams.
And he's in it.
And he's in everybody's dream. So
just
he becomes...
there as an observer.
Yeah, like he's just...
At first.
Yeah, and then normally, and all of a sudden he becomes famous because now everybody knows him, even though they're like, who's this strange guy? Oh, you were in my dream. And he's like, okay.
I was?
Yeah, and like he wasn't... So then he becomes famous. It's just... You know me with A24. I just love all their freaking... They just take some swings, man. I love that.
They must be dropping acid while they're filming their movies.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in an A24 jam.
Are you?
I'm waiting for it to come out. Jesus fucking Christ.
Ooh.
That Janet Saves the Planet, the one where I was Contra line dancing.
Oh, yeah.
That's an A24 jam.
I love A24.
And I'm waiting. That was probably one of the most fun things I've done to date was that movie.
Sure.
Movies. If that's it for trailers.
Yeah, that's it for trailers.
I watched our movie.
You did?
Bottoms. Look, my daughter's been bugging the fuck out of me to see this movie.
I know. How was it?
Look,
is it because it's just not your brand of vodka, or are you just?
I'm not the target audience because I'm not a high school lesbian.
Yeah,
that's exactly what this movie is, and it almost feels. A lot of the movie, and Mila said that some of the stuff it feels very improv, and not even good improv. The actress Ayo Edebiri, the way she acts in this, it's what bugs me about that show that she's in, The Bear. That's the restaurant cook show. Mm-hmm. It always feels like she's trying to like remember and figure out what it's like. What am I supposed? I'm supposed to say this. So how am I supposed to say? And then she delivers her line, and you're like there for the whole process.
Yeah.
She's also the voice of April O'Neil in the new TMNT movie.
Which I still have to watch. I know you sent me a copy of it.
But I had the same problem with her on that show. Is that she always feels like she's trying to figure out what she's supposed to say.
Well, I mean, maybe she's new to the game, and
or maybe that's just how the character is supposed to be. I don't know.
You've seen some of those actors, like I've done it, like just in theater or stuff like that, where you're just sitting there and the guy's talking, and you just go, "What do I say? What do I say? What line like that?" Oh, okay. Yeah. You don't know how many times I've played shows with bands where I either cover band or my own stuff, the shit that I've written myself. In between the riffs, the verses, I'm like, what the fuck is that line? You know, like it just comes in the last second, but the whole time I'm just going like, what the hell is that fucking? Oh God damn it! I can't. Oh wait, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
You watched a couple of movies.
No,
just the one.
I only watched the one that I thought you were gonna watch too.
I was gonna watch it. I just couldn't.
Well, I took the bullet for you, pal. It's called No One Will Save You.
Yeah, No One Will Save You from that movie.
It's a weird movie. Basically it's an alien invasion, right? So this woman, she lives on her own, and you know, she's totally isolated kind of thing. And at first it seems like it's a home invasion.
Right.
And she's kind of freaked out, but then you realize that it's aliens. Now
Aliens?
Aliens.
Hello, dum-dum.
Okay.
That's it.
It's the Great Gazoo. He just wants in.
He does. Now the aliens now, what's interesting about it is that first of all, like certain movies like Signs or say Jaws, right? You don't see the alien until like the end, and you're like, oh, like Cloverfield.
Or what was that other movie that was filmed around here with where everybody has to be quiet? The Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place.
Place.
Where you kind of don't see it, but it has nothing to do with A Quiet Place. Like, you don't have to be quiet for these aliens.
Right.
But because she lives on her own and she's isolated, who's she going to talk to?
Nobody.
Now, normally, I don't know how you are, but like, I'm walking around my house. I work at home. I'm by myself. I'm sitting there talking to myself all the time. I'm talking to the fucking cats. I'm talking to anything.
Talking. I'm going to the fridge. Gonna get out some jelly.
Oh, yeah.
What? No, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no, yeah. I did.
Every day.
That comedian talked about Jock rocking
your life.
Yeah. Going to the store, get commemorative stamps. I do shit like that all the time.
That's my life.
But this movie, there's 3 lines of dialogue at most. And it's a 90-some-odd minute movie.
And is it like, holy shit? Oh my God. Holy fuck, get me out of here.
Yeah. I mean, they should have called it... Now, I'm going to spoil the crap out of this thing, because I might as well. I'll even give you the long one. Now, after I watched the movie, I think they should have called it Dear Maud. Only because, not because B. Arthur's in it, which if it was, holy shit, I'd have my pants off watching that. But you find out why she's all by herself. Like, she goes into town, and these two, like... She writes these letters to her friend Maud. Like, I think her name was Maud. Anyway, and then there's Maud. Dear Maud, I saw your parents today. They look well and stuff like that. And she goes into town, and Maud's parents are there, and she just doesn't know what to say, and then they just spit on her and just walk away. And you're like, what the hell did this girl do?
Uh-oh.
Apparently,
she killed Maud.
She killed Maud with a brick. Like, and now she feels sorry for her, so she's writing all these letters. They were best friends, and they got into a fight. And these aliens, it's all about alien abduction. Like, they abduct the people in the town. Okay. And it's kind of cool, because not only do they have the aliens, which the aliens look straight up Blue Alien Mystic, like Communion-looking aliens.
Cool.
With, like,
It was Barry.
Their feet, where I kept thinking of Barry. I was like, did he watch this movie? Where the feet are like hands, which were really cool. So it was done really well, but it was very Quiet Place. Like, it was like an alien invasion, and then she finally gets sucked up. You know, she gets sucked up into the ship, because you see all these ships flying around, and some people are getting sucked up into the ship. Some people they're these like bugs, or like I don't even know. It looked like a fucking weird looking
beetle,
like sushi thing, and it goes into their mouth, and then they get possessed, and you can see it moving like this. So you're like, oh wow, this is really messed up, you know. And then the aliens suck her up, and they make her relive like all this stuff about. You find out what happened to Maud, you know.
And there's still no talking in any of this.
No talking at all. It's like watching the fucking Bear, you know, like the movie. I was like. Where Walter told us, shh, we're like, what are you going to miss? The fucking dialogue here? I'll talk it back to you. You know, like, and so they make her go through it. So you find out about Maud, and you're like, okay. And then she kind of fights her way, and she gets into this world, and then she's like with these other. It just ends, and you're like, what the fuck did I just watch?
So,
I don't know.
So you said to me, get super high and watch it.
Oh yeah, yeah, because it kind of reminded me of like you like a lot of that heady shit.
Oh yeah,
and this is like
maybe I will like it.
You don't have to worry about. I mean, it was well done.
Okay.
I give it I think I gave it on the TikTok like 2.5 pals.
Okay.
I'm like, it was entertaining, but like you literally don't have. You could have fucking Judas Priest plans in the background. You ain't gonna miss nothing. It's just I would have loved to put the subtitles on it because there were none.
Subtitles. That would be funny.
Yeah, the aliens tried to at one point Maud comes back, and that's the only 3 lines she says. She's like, I've missed you, or something like that. And you're like, oh my God, she speaks. That was it. But yeah, I couldn't even explain the ending to you.
All right.
It was very weird. But anyway, yeah.
Do you want to hear all about my thoughts on Gen V?
Why don't we go with Gen V? Just because I have not seen it yet, but you did show me clips.
Dude, Gen V?
Mm-hmm.
It is so good. It is so boys.
Oh, yeah.
You've got all that satire of them being famous, of all they care about is like, yeah, you'll be saving some people, but your public image is what we're going to work on.
Oh, sure.
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger's kid is in it, but spoilers here. You want to hit the spoiler thing real quick?
Oh, yeah.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger's kid's in it, but he kills himself in the first episode. He is Golden Boy. He's like so to set the scene, it starts off back when like A-Train gets drafted into the 7.
Oh.
That's in the beginning. And it starts off with her family sitting there watching the news of A-Train getting drafted into the 7. Mm-hmm. And then she starts getting a stomach, and her mom's like, oh, you okay, honey? And I'm like, she's getting her period. She's getting her first period.
Yeah.
She goes in the bathroom, and exactly what's happening. She puts her hand down. She's got the blood. And all of a sudden, the blood starts to float up. And that's when her powers emerge that she can control blood.
Wow.
And her mom, she like freaks out and falls off the toilet. And all this ruckus, her mom breaks in and goes, oh my God. And as her mom comes, she's like, she gets scared and fucking sends the blood across the room and slits her mom's throat. Now mom's on the floor bleeding. Dad comes running. I was like, what the hell? Oh my God. And she freaks out again and fucking spikes out blood and kills Dad.
Oh, nice.
And her sister's like, and flash forward, just after Homelander fucking nuked that guy at the protests.
Oh, yeah.
It's just after all that happened.
Okay.
And everybody knows about V, that kids were being given this drug, and there's a school that they all go to, and she's just old enough that she's not in like this foster home or this like school for this like poor school for soups. And they send her to God U, it's called. It's like, I don't know the name of the school, but they call it God U. And she goes there, and Golden Boy is the Homelander of this school. He's like the number 1 ranked superhero. And he had a brother who died, and she goes to this school. She's the poor kid. But there is, my favorite has to be Little Cricket. Little Cricket, who winds up being her roommate, is this girl who, if she throws up, she gets smaller. So she'll shove her fingers down her throat to make herself throw up.
That's my kryptonite.
And she does YouTube videos. Like her public image and getting noticed thing is she shrinks herself down and she has a little boxing ring and she fights hamsters in the boxing ring.
Why wouldn't you?
And this one guy, like she wants to be famous, but she's not. This one guy's just like, oh, I know you. You're like one of my favorites. And she kind of falls for it. And then they wind up hooking up and they're like making out. And he's like, I got a weird request. Don't think I'm weird. She's like, no, you're not weird. And he's like, could you shrink yourself and like grab my cock?
You showed me that clip. I was just like, how are they getting away? I mean, this is straight up porn. Like,
Well, he's like, can you try and kick me in the nuts? And she's like, sure. And she kicks his nuts.
And then she slides down his dick and lands on his balls. He's like, oh.
And did you see where she smacks his balls like she's riding a horse and she's smacking its ass? And he's like, oh, yeah, just like that.
So, I mean, I haven't watched it yet. I am definitely watching it this weekend, but
You've got the blood. You've got the gore. You've got you're sitting there watching going, oh my God, all these soups are like so out of touch with reality.
Oh, yeah.
Like they have no idea.
Because they have no consequences.
Dude, I'm fucking loving it. I'm so mad there's only 3 episodes right now.
Yeah. Well, how many are they supposed to do? Do you know?
I don't know. It's the best mix of The Boys. It's almost like they're taking The Boys and going, how do we get like the Riverdale fan base and Supernatural fan base, that age demographic, to watch this show?
It's like the new.
Let's set it in a high school.
It reminds me of like the New Mutants versus
Yes.
the X-Men, where
Yes.
it's just like, here's the. I mean, unfortunately, that movie didn't do what it was supposed to. I didn't even watch it, but yeah, I got a New Mutants vibe off that shit. Very X-Men-ish kind of. So I'm dying. I mean, I'm a huge fan of The Boys, and you know, I was like, I just can't believe that they get away. I mean, yeah, it's Amazon Prime. I get it. It's a paid thing, whatever. But like, there's certain things like, and The Boys pushed the levels pretty far. That was just like, and you know me, I'm not a prude. I was just like, wow.
And then we got 2 episodes that we haven't talked about of Ahsoka.
Yes, we were behind on the Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
I mean, right? It's right up there with some of the best Star Wars.
I got 2 words.
What's that?
Dadbod Thrawn.
I love it.
Oh, Chubby Thrawn. Come on.
Little Dadbod Thrawn in there, and then freaking.
I know my Halloween costume. Fat Thrawn. Never mind Fat Thor. It's Fat Thrawn.
Oh, I can actually do Fat Thor. That'd be
Yeah.
interesting. Anyway, yeah, man. I mean, so far, I mean, we only have 1 more episode left, but I mean, it's right up there with the Andors and the. Yeah, I mean, just some of the stuff in there. I mean, I love Thrawn.
You got the 3 witches that are like the Fates.
Yeah, the Witches of Dathomir.
Yep, you got those 3. And I don't know, were you upset last week when, you know, she finds, spoiler for a week-old show that, you know, if you're listening to this, you should have fucking watched it already.
Yeah.
When she finds Ezra, and there's no like, hey, by the way, we defeated the Empire, and, you know, Darth Vader's dead, and like none of that.
Well, and then the next episode, he kind of
And then in the next episode, he catches her up. She's like...
But there's certain things that, like, he's like, oh, so where's Ahsoka? I'll tell you later. No,
tell me now.
Yeah, and plus I want to know, like, Ezra, he's been on this planet for 10 years.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to be like, what'd you do? What happened after you flew over here with Thrawn?
Yeah.
You know, how'd you guys get separated?
How'd you get away?
And, you know, and Sabine kind of clues him in on certain things.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, and then the only thing that bothered me in that last episode, the only thing, and it wasn't even it's a nitpick. They're fighting, and Sabine goes, here's your lightsaber. And he goes, nah, I'm going to do the Force.
Yeah, I'm all about the Force,
like,
baby.
Yeah, and she's just like, no, it's yours. You know, like, you can I have 2 blasters. No, I'm just going to Force push everybody. Yeah. Now, it was kind of cool seeing him when, like, you know, Hottie came over and then he just kind of held it like that.
And her saber is, like, all distorted.
Bending a little bit. So you're like, you know, Ezra's a badass. Plus those contacts, man, are just, I'm like, what is with those eyes?
Well, that's the color of his eyes on the show.
Yeah, it's very dreamy.
But, you know, you bring that up, but I'm wondering if, I'm thinking that planet is like a big source of Force energy, which is why the whales go there, which is why the Purgle go there to die, which is why, like, the witches are there, which is why those aliens, I could fucking remember their names, they go there, and they were very, like, the original Force users.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's
enhanced his power.
I think they're gonna push that a lot more with James Mangold's movie about the Dawn of the Jedi. I think it's all going to be taking place around there. I think. But yeah, I mean, it was freaking. It definitely is one of the best Star Wars things. I mean,
and can we just recognize how fucking sad it is now that
Ray
Stevenson's dead. It's like he is probably the best in my. I'd challenge anybody. That is probably the best acted role to date in anything Star Wars.
Oh yeah, and you just want to see him succeed because he wants to go back, and he doesn't want to eliminate the Jedi.
No,
he just wants to start it over again. but like this whole gray Jedi thing, and he's just killing it, you know. And old Shin Hati, she looked like, you know, she almost did the heel turn, but then she just kind of ran off like freaking Napoleon Dynamite. She's like, like okay.
She goes, right, I'm out of here.
You know, she got on that stupid horse thing and was like, just ran away. So far, all of it, I mean, what else can we talk about? I mean, the Anakin freaking, that she has like 20 tapes of Anakin where she trained with. That I hope that how cool would this be? Where that part where she's doing the training with the projection of Anakin, who still looks freaking awesome. Hayden Christensen freaking killing it.
Oh yes.
And then she puts it back in the box, and you have all the things. Like, how cool would it be if she just took that box, gave it to Luke, and was just like, here. Like, this is...
Oh, my God.
I mean, come on. They got to do something like that where it's just like, you never knew your father before the, you know... Because he only
you
saw...
only knew your father as Darth Vader. You didn't know your father as Anakin.
Yeah, because even Hu Yang. But even he comes in and like, when she's training, she's like, I didn't think he was that thoughtful. You know? Where like... Imagine if she takes that box, like she's done the training, she's gone through all of them. But how cool if you gave it like to young Luke and like, you know, just go like, here, now you get to know your father the way I know him.
Yeah, it'd be like an orphan finding a box of videos of their dad.
Yeah, come on, dude.
That's like every movie.
Come on, Filoni, do it. Do it.
And I
Filoni.
love when Hu Yang's like, she's like, you used to sit around telling us the stories of the history of the Jedi's parts 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Although part 1 was my favorite because it's the best, and that's like the prequel trilogy that she's part of. But Jesus Christ, dude! At the end, when Hera is at the in front of that tribunal, and they're court-martialing her, and then C-3PO walks in.
Yeah.
And is like, I come with an urgent message from Senator Organa.
Yeah.
But like,
I know Screen
Can we just fucking get over and recast Leia? And you know what? You've said it. Make it someone who everybody's gonna be like, I'm okay with it being that person. Put Millie Bobby Brown in there.
Yeah.
And everybody would accept it. Everybody would be like, that's fine. You know what? She's a great actress, and she looks enough like Leia that I'll buy it. Mm-hmm. And she'll do a fucking knockout job, and I'll get an on-screen Leia who comes in and is like, hey,
yeah, I mean,
I authorize this.
I think people at this point, you know, are okay with it. You know, where it's like, sure, they tried to do it with Solo and didn't really work out, but that was just kind of, it wasn't his fault. No. It was just, you need to have that certain, like, you gotta, I'm perfectly fine with them recasting at this point.
Absolutely. I think everybody is.
If Filoni is going into this whole heir to the Empire, I mean,
they're going to need a Leia.
A Leia, a Han, a Chewie, like a fucking, you know, a Luke, all of them. They need to get recast at this point. How many Batmen have we had? How many fucking Spider-Man have we had?
How many Flashes have we had?
Yeah. Like, you know, with Star Trek, all that stuff is just like, it's okay. We're all big boys and girls now. We'll accept
the story. We actually get verification through this that those Thrawns, what are they, the Night Troopers?
Yeah.
They're not dead. Because when they cut that one bounty hunter in half, I can't remember his name now, and all the fucking black mist comes out of him.
Yeah.
They kill these stormtroopers and these night troopers, and there's no...
They didn't get the vapors. The vapors. Who knows? I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I love the look of those stormtroopers that he just kind of, you know, all right, what do I got to work with here? And he said, you know, our fossils have dwindled. You know, so it's like, these are what's left. And then fucking Goldface. I think Goldface McGee is
dead.
Is an undead.
Yeah.
Because you got the three sisters there.
Right.
You know, they can make the undead. So, anyway, yeah, we talked about Heels finale.
Heels was great. So sad it's canceled. Winning Time finale, I was a little less than satisfied, but that's just because it's like you knew it was canceled at that point, and you're like, fucking...
I like how they at least got to let them tie it up in a little bow at the end of it. Yes. So, like, when you think about it, as much as I would have loved for that show to continue, because I really, really enjoyed it, I thought it was like one of the best shows out there. The 80s were all dominated by Celtics, Lakers, Celtics, Lakers, yes. Lakers, Celtics, Lakers, Celtics. So it's like, you know.
There was rumor that there was going to be another, like, season, but they were going to fast forward to, like, the Shaq Kobe era.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't see it.
All these shows, you never know. Like for all the, for Minx, even though I gave up on that show. And
well, look, you gave up on Minx, but you get all that penis in Gen V.
That's right.
So watch Gen V, you get all the Minx penis there.
That's right. You don't get that much 70s push.
I did finish watching Minx. It was...
I know. I was disappointed. I was so psyched when it came back on another channel. But like I said, could be a Cobra Kai thing where they just move it somewhere else and you're like, oh, shit. But people have to watch it.
Hopefully I get another season of that show I watched on Netflix, Wrestlers, which is literally like the real-life heels.
Yeah.
It's OVW, the Ohio Valley Wrestling, which is like one of the last of the independent wrestling leagues that still does like live events every week and broadcasts them online and still does pay-per-views. And I guess the whole premise of this show is that this guy invests in Ohio Valley Wrestling because they're struggling, and he wants to come in and do all this stuff, and he doesn't know shit.
Is it Rick Rude? I couldn't remember if it was Rick Rude. Al Snow.
Al Snow. You know, who Al Snow was one of these like wrestlers that everybody knew. He just never got over the top, like Rock over the top and all that shit. But everybody knew him. Everybody loved him. Everybody trained with him. All the up-and-coming guys like... and I didn't notice, like, Ohio Valley Wrestling is where people like Stone Cold came out of there. Mm-hmm. Like, all these famous people came out of Ohio Valley Wrestling, but then there's, like, the people who just, like heels don't get out of there.
Yeah.
And you got the guy who's, like, addicted to drugs and gets busted. You've got all that drama that you saw on heels. And the worst is, like, the one guy who's, like, the businessman who is kind of like losing money on the wrestling by investing in it. And I'm like, bullshit, because you got fucking Netflix filming this.
Yeah.
They're footing the fucking bill. Don't tell me you're hemorrhaging money.
Well, maybe they're doing it now, after the fact. I'm definitely going to get into wrestlers too, just because I've had kind of a renaissance with it where it's a little like the WWE right now, and even that AEW.
AEW, that's it.
The one with Jericho's running.
Right.
It's so like there was definitely storyline and drama in the early stuff of the 80s, but there was actually wrestling. Right. I watched an AEW once because I was like, we were bored at the house, and I was like, let me throw this on. I think when I was getting into heels, I was like, let me watch this and just see how wrestling is nowadays. Like, I'm like, after a half hour, I'm like, is somebody going to wrestle? Yeah. They're all just chatting in the ring and blah, 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 and this one, that one. It's like a soap opera, and you're like, can we just... you want a little storyline, but even WWE's like that now. It's just like, and Ronda Rousey, come on.
Oh, my God.
She's carrying the torch for Roddy. I'm like, I don't know.
She had his blessing. Anyway, is it time?
I think it might be.
Watch the musician from the big rock band. Now he just looks like a big fat ham. It's time for Greg's Music News.
Poops. Hey man. Yeah, his music. There's actually a ton of music that came out, in the past 2 weeks. The only thing I wanted to lead off with at first is there was a news article that just came out. Live Nation. Good old Live Nation.
Fuck Live Nation.
Yeah, they were just like pounding it to the old consumer and to the artists themselves. They released, and actually with Willie Nelson's blessing, because it's on the road again. Yeah. He comes out and he freaking shuffles his stoned ass out and talks about what they've decided to do is for venues like 3,000 and lower. So like your Roselands or like Terminal 5s or something like that.
That rooftop at Pier 5 or Pier 8 or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. So what they said is on those venues, they are going to waive the merchandise fees.
Okay.
So the artist can keep 100% of those profits. Because
nice.
The big thing, especially with stadiums and stuff like that, you can watch videos, and I can recommend ones where they break it down, all the merch. You have to pay for all this stuff. But like for these venues, these small touring bands, that's where they make their money.
Yeah.
They need it on their merch. And on top of all that stuff, they're saying, okay, well, we need 25% off that. Live Nation is saying, we're taking, you guys, you can keep that, but it's only a Live Nation event.
Okay.
And they're also paying $1,500 stipends to bands. So if a club goes like, well, we can't pay you, it's like, fuck you, Live Nation just gave you $1,500 you're supposed to give me. So it's kind of like a stipend.
Yes.
which is good news. I mean, they're trying to save face, I think, with Live Nation. It helps the smaller bands because they understand that, like, these small bands are going to be the stadium acts now.
Yeah.
And, you know, I prefer a lot of times going to a small venue and seeing a band like that, not paying a shit ton of money. I would rather go see the Descendants for $50 in a freaking club than go see Metallica and spend $500, you know, and pay for a $40 shirt and all this stuff, you know. So hopefully with this, it's a step in the right direction. Hopefully it'll stay. But I just wanted to bring that up just too because, you know, a lot of times we do like to shit on stuff like Live Nation and Ticketmaster and all this stuff, which they are fucking
Ticketmaster too.
Yeah, they're all freaking scammers. But anywho, I just wanted to get that out there. So I'm looking for my Discover if I put my old things down. First one on there, we talked about Code Orange. We have a couple things. Their full length came out called the Above. It's if you like Code Orange, they're very all over the place.
Okay.
I forget the female.
Not a huge fan.
The female guitar player. Did I play you that song?
Probably.
It's very. I like her songs more because they're not as aggressive and all over the place.
Right.
They're an acquired taste. I always enjoyed Code Orange just because they're fucking batshit crazy and I like the songs that. I wish I knew her name too. That she.
I can't even look it up on my phone.
Yeah, that she's playing on there.
Tits McGillicuddy. That's her name.
Yeah. She's quite the guitar player, and her voice is just so different. You know, like, what is her name? Is it
Reba Myers?
Is it Jamie?
Code
or
Orange
Reba?
Band.
Let's see.
There's Jamie Morgan and Reba Myers. I'll Google each of them.
All right.
Search the Google.
So anyway, their full length came out. There's some songs on there. I remember mentioning. Oh, there she is. Old Reba. She used to have a band that was more. We talked about it on one of the podcasts. That was a little bit more kind of alternative.
That's how it is. I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers.
But she's an amazing guitar player, and her voice is awesome. So I like her stuff than the other ones.
Okay.
It's very 9 Inch Nails on some of these other songs, but give it a spin if you're into some craziness. Now, on the complete other side of the spectrum, we talked about Wilco. Wilco came out with a new album.
Acquired taste. I don't understand. They're like the National. I don't understand it.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely. They have some songs. Like I said, Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. That album's got a couple of good songs.
Right.
I compare it to Sunday morning drink your coffee with Walter type music. It's just in the background. It's harmless. It's just. Like you said, sorry, Daryl and Michelle, but the National, I just don't get either. Kind of like, it's like I talk about with Billie Eilish. I'm like, could you fucking throw in an up-tempo number once in a while? Speed it up a little bit. Other than that, looking through here, we also talked about this other band. They're called Flicker Stick. If anybody remembers that show, not making the band.
You said I think you said making the band last time.
Making. Did you say making fuck? No. It was
Berserker.
It was some VH1 reality show. They had 3 bands. They put them on tour. One of the bands was called Flicker Stick. Pete and I, we love this band. They're actually really good.
We've talked about them many a time.
Yeah, they have a new album out. They just put it out called Contract Killer.
Really?
It's not. It's I don't know. I got to give it some more listens. Nothing
Bands
on there.
On the Run.
Yeah, Bands on the Run. Thank you. They also had those other bands in there too. I forget what their names were, but
I could tell.
You don't have to. Yeah, it's no big deal.
All right.
Moving on, son. Another one of my favorites, the old Cannibal Corpse, got a new album out. Chaos Horrific. It's Cannibal Corpse. It's you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for.
You get the largest neck in metal. If you ever watch, you have to follow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the largest neck in metal to the stage.
You got to respect the neck, dude. You've seen that picture of his neck. the best is he's a great follow on Instagram because here's freaking Corpse Grinder Fisher. You know, they have songs like I Come Blood and all this shit. And his Instagram is just like him and his family going to SeaWorld. There he is. Respect the neck.
What neck?
He loves going to he loves going to like carnivals and winning toys, and he's like a family man. He's the best. He's freaking awesome. Jesus. And you know, you got Chaos Horrific, which is out, which is just like I said. You listen to that, you know what you're getting. And then if we go on to the singles, oddly enough, a lot of legendary bands came out with singles this week. U2 out of nowhere, and they didn't. Me? No, you too.
No, me.
That old gag.
Yeah. There's another band I don't fucking get why they're so goddamn popular.
I mean, they have a single out, Atomic City, where I'm like, all right, it sounds like U2. It's I love early U2, like Boy, and I like Boys.
I bet you do. Boys.
Like Sunday Bloody Sunday, that era. Sure. War. When they got a little overbloated when they became The Fly and Lemon and all that shit, I was kind of like, oh boy. But they have a new they have a new single out called Atomic City. I gave it a spin. I'm like, it's what I expected. Okay. It's not bad. Other bands where we can go.
Can I help you, sir? Yes, what is this? Huh? This is whack! I can't get jiggy with this shit!
I thought you were dead.
Hey kids, Sum 41 has a single out. Sum 41, come on.
Wow.
Yeah.
What year is this?
Yeah, exactly. They have a thing out here called Landmine, which I haven't really listened to, nor I probably won't. Anyway, other singles on there. Blink 182.
What?
Yeah. Well, they've toured. They did the big reunion tour. They got old fucking Tom DeLonge back in there chasing aliens.
Oh my god.
And I was like, oh, okay. They got a single out. It's called One More Time. I'm like, okay.
One more time.
That's what I thought. I'm like, I listened to it. It's really good.
Fuck.
I don't know why. You know what it is? It's talking about like the reason that Blink-182 got back together for the most part was that, when Mark Hoppus got diagnosed with cancer and he was going through all that cancer treatment. Oh god, this is like a while ago, like a year ago. Obviously, knock on wood, he beat cancer, and Tom DeLonge was like, my friend almost died. Like, why am I holding this stupid grudge with this band? Yeah. Like, let's, time's too short. So the song, if you listen to it, it's talking about that. Like, you never know. You only got one more life to live.
Is it on here?
Yeah, I put it on there. The video is actually really cool because
check it out.
They're playing and they're like the background is all green screen and it's like all their older shit and it's like
sounds cool.
It's pretty cool, man. Yeah, give it a shot. What else did I have on my list of lists here? Cannibal Corpse, U2, Blink 182, Flicker Stick, Wilco, Code Orange. There's a whole Scream. Do you ever hear of Scream?
What? The movie?
Ow, the old DC punk band that Dave Grohl was in before Nirvana.
No.
They came out with a single. Yeah.
But Dave Grohl's not in it anymore.
No, but he does make a guest appearance on there. And actually one of the guitar players.
Old Deaf Dave Grohl. Deaf Dave.
Old Deafy Dave. Yeah, that single is out. It's pretty good. I mean, if you're into like the DC punk kind of stuff. Also, I mean, Helmet came out with another song. A little bit better than, what is it called? Gun Fluff? Okay.
Did I see Helmet live? I think I saw Helmet.
I love Helmet.
I think that was the band that was playing with 9 Inch Nails when I saw them in Florida when I lived down there.
Okay. They're a good band. They're pretty solid. Yeah. But this last stuff was the last single they put out. I was kind of like, oh boy. This one is a little better. Duran Duran have another one out. Black Moonlight.
Wasn't the last one? The last one had the same title as like a ghost song.
Dance Macabre.
I was like, wait, are they doing a ghost cover?
Yeah, I mean, poor Duran Duran. Didn't they play? They played last year at New Year's.
Okay,
and they're still. I mean, they're Duran Duran, man. I mean, what are you gonna do? But other than that, I think that's pretty much it. The 2023 playlist is out there for Hey Pal, What's New? Give it a follow. if I think the last one we did, people were contributing to it. If you do, let us know just so we can listen to it. You go out there, you discover we're putting this together for you because if you go, wait, fucking U2 has a new song out? It's on there, but that's all the music news I got today.
Okay.
So that's it. You can play the theme.
Do you want me to play you out?
Oh,
he works so hard on this.
It's time for Greg's music news.
hey, look, they can't all be bangers like that one, you know?
Yeah. There's some stuff coming to Apple TV that looks fucking out of this world.
They
continue to hit it out of the park, that fucking channel.
I know. And yet, I still have to not subscribe to it.
Well, that's because you're Greg, and what the fuck did I just do?
I don't know. What did you do?
Nothing.
But,
I'll tell you about me,
but
monkey.
I did it again. Now you got me in a freaking complex.
Smooth like a criminal undercover. Don't pop like trouble breaking into your heart like that.